Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider. Over 11 years, 7 hosts, 2 cruises, interviews from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Tony Hawk to Jack Reacher himself, 16 various podcast award nominations, and 1 trophy for the best podcast in TV and film, and now officially 500 episodes. This is episode 500 of the Hollywood Outsider podcast. We always do this for you guys, but this one's for us. Let's get on with the show. My name is Aaron Peterson. Joining me today are my fellow hosts from now and beyond. John Davenport.
Yo.
Amanda Sink.
Hello, hello.
Troy Heinrichs.
You're muted.
He
Dumbass.
muted himself.
You muted
Mute
yourself.
myself.
Jesus. Troy Heinrichs. Are you here? Are you what?
I am here, I think.
Okay.
Unless I'm the one from beyond.
Jesus Christ. Scott Clark.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Long time no see.
Brian Williams.
Hello, hello.
And Justin McCumber, of course, is no longer with
He's
us.
dead.
Lord.
Couldn't make it.
Oh man.
Couldn't make it.
He couldn't RSVP for this.
No, we try to get him, but he's stubborn.
Yeah,
would
that
appreciate
sounds
that
about
joke.
right.
He would actually appreciate that. So this is 500 episodes, and like I said, we agreed that episode 500 was going to be fun. If you want like a rehash and nostalgia and a lot of that stuff, that's on 400, 300, 200, 100. This one is just for us. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but we hope you have a great time, your family. So let's have fun.
Now
Now
we're
we're
going to like this one's going to be fun, as in all the previous 499 were not fun.
they were fun, but everybody bitched it. Okay, Brian bitched at me a lot because he's like, I'm tired of rehashing the same stories, dickhead. Let's do something different. So here we go.
It's okay. We actually
is
all
true.
understand that Brian is your whole world, so we get it.
He had a good
They just
point.
went on a romance adventure together again.
Yes.
It
For the
was
second time.
magical. It was magical. Wow.
It was.
Just-
Who takes it out of curiosity?
Huh?
Whoa,
Whoa.
Who takes it?
Wow.
Chewy don't take.
Wow.
Throwback to like episode 200 or something.
Wow, that was 300
Yeah.
episodes ago. So, John, what was your favorite episode of the Hollywood Outsider?
Oh God. I think my very first one, and maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should clarify this won't be edited. So anything
Whatever it is.
anything you say will be held against you in probably court of law, popular culture, Twitter, everywhere else. So
HR.
exactly, mind your P's and Q's.
Well, for the
Don't say
listeners,
Now you tell me.
Yeah,
For the listeners, like if you aren't happy with this episode, don't worry. Aaron and I have already put up the actual real episode for the week, so you got that going
Took care of
on.
business because these
Right.
bitches weren't around. So
Nobody asked me.
Sure didn't.
What the fuck do you
Sure
mean?
sure didn't. Nobody did call you and say, "You want to be on?"
No.
I think I'm the only one subscribing to Disney Plus still, and I didn't even get an invite.
I still have it, but I have it through Aaron's account.
Wow! Don't give the secrets away. Make people think you
I'm
pay for
sorry.
it.
Okay, yeah, I pay for it. I pay for all these subscriptions.
Remember, when you watch TV, buy your subscriptions.
Yeah, so you're trying. So we should say Justin McCumber, he passed away, so he won't be here, obviously, as Brian alluded to. But
He didn't
all
allude.
I didn't believe that was pretty direct.
but
Oh,
Brian
what
and
a-
Scott were
been a
founding
while.
members, and so they've been involved for a long time. If you're not someone who has heard them before, which is possible. Okay, well that's covered. So we were having a great time before we started. Now I feel like everybody's tired.
Well, it's
Just waiting on
there's-
you. You
there's-
drive this ship for 500 episodes, so it's like if you don't say anything, we're like, okay, what's next, boss?
All right,
Right.
what's different for you in terms of? Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. You want to say something? Go.
Well, it just to kind of prove my point. I think we're all like not used to having 6 of us in one room together. So
Yeah,
like
this is a
we're
bit
just
much.
deathly afraid of talking over somebody. So we're just all like
Chaos.
waiting for you to go, man.
This is chaos. We're all drinking. Are we all drinking, or am I?
No.
alone?
I'm not drinking.
Nope. I'm
Yeah.
sober.
Brian's
The
just got a
cl-
mason jar.
The
What the-
cleanse is over.
The cleanse. It's kombucha. It's what it really is. It's kombucha
Oh.
for Brian.
Well, we're not
No,
technically
just,
in the same room yet, Scott, but we will be in the same room in June 2023 on the Ho Cruise.
Yeah.
True story.
Yes, we
Cruise
will.
number 2. We've got a second Ho Cruise coming up.
Right.
That's right.
But you can
Lots
reach
of
out to
fun.
Brian. You can reach out to Brian and you can book. There's still a couple rooms left, I think, right?
Yep. Still a couple of rooms. Yep. Had a couple people reach out recently, trying to make it happen for them. But yep,
But what?
still lost.
What's involved in trying? Just give them a room. Like, what
Yeah.
People
do you make
got-
them do?
Well, they've got special needs. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh,
I mean,
you've
they
got
have handicap
handlebars
ramps on there. Like,
I just want one close
Easy.
to the bar.
More
That's all.
easy.
Can I get
Yeah,
one that has
see,
handlebars
yeah,
and a
one.
swing?
Aaron sees me warming up. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Easy.
I just want y'all to remember this is recorded and not edited forever.
Easy.
Aaron is spotting Brian's jokes.
I'm just
Yeah.
helping the brother out.
Well, from the sounds of it, somebody's spotting something in these rooms.
All right. Amanda, what's different for you? Well, this is for everybody, but she starts it off. Amanda, what's different for you in terms of how you watch movies or TV versus when we started this in 2011 when you weren't part of it?
I would say that well, first of all, I pay attention more because we're gonna have to. Yeah, I do. I do.
Are you watching
Because
the
we're gonna
Right
have
Show?
to talk about it.
Do you listen to
Yeah.
the show?
I do sometimes when I'm not on it. I do, which has been a lot this year. But anyway,
Yeah, she's more
I-
spectator in 2022.
I've
Hell,
been
I've
the
been on
guest.
more episodes.
No, maybe. We'll see.
I mean,
We'll
we're
check it
tied.
by the end
I
of the
mean, you and I are tied at this point.
Right,
So.
right.
Yeah, Brian is basically the third host at this point in the line. I would say that not only do I pay attention more, but I don't want to use the word judgmental. I'm more judgmental, but I'm just more critical of it. So I'm going to look at it and compare it to a lot of other films. I'm more eager to try things that are outside of my wheelhouse than I ever used to be. Like from day one, I've told you guys, I do not do Westerns. But over the years, I've progressively tried to open myself up to some of those and tried
There
to
you
watch
go.
things that I don't think I normally would have.
As you should. Yeehaw.
Yeah. Yeehaw. I have a cowboy hat or cowgirl hat. I can go wear it real quick.
Easy. There's no reason to yell about this. There's no reason. You just calm the fuck down.
There's also, what's the difference between a cowboy and a cowgirl hat? I mean, isn't it just
The
like a
Cowgirl
set
ones are
thing?
cuter.
Isn't it just
The
a
dazzle.
They are.
Brian, help me out.
Dazzled.
Oh man, that's a no.
You got one.
You're asking for trouble.
I'll tell you what's different is I have a hard time. I'm overwhelmed. I am stressed now. I never used to be stressed watching movies, and now I'm stressed. Now when I'm watching, I'm like, I don't know how to catch up with everything. Stop recommending things. Like I'm not. That's how I feel a lot of the time. I feel overwhelmed and just like I'm constantly being yelled at to catch up on something.
Mhm.
Somebody's always, why haven't you watched this one thing? You just read up your alley. Yeah, they're all up in my alley. Apparently, I don't have the time.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. It makes me crazy when all this stuff is coming out and people are like, "Have you watched this?" Yes, no, I don't know. What is it? What? Why?
It dropped yesterday, and there's 13 episodes. No, I haven't watched it.
No, I haven't watched it. I still haven't gone back to freaking Sandman to watch that surprise episode they dropped down,
show.
and it's supposed to be really great. But I have been like, I can't. I just can't. I'm just leave it there.
There are like old shows that I've always wanted to watch. Like I've never watched like The Sopranos or The Wire, and I've always wanted to go back to those. But there's always something that somebody is saying you got to watch this show. And there's just always something. And sometimes I just want to take a break and go back and catch up on something old.
Hey
The
Scott,
Wire. The
you
Wire's
gotta watch The
fantastic.
Wire.
I just tried to I tried to watch The Sopranos. I hate that show. I just do not like it. I've tried and tried like 3 times. It's not for me.
Oh come on, watch it with Madison.
What? Oh, you're She-Hulk. I get it.
What? It's funny.
Is it? I'm
Aaron
It was
thinks I'm
funny when we
funnier than
talked
you.
about it yesterday.
By all the uproarious laughter, you can tell it's hilarious.
It took me, I just watched the episode this week, and it took me until somebody said it to understand what he was referencing. I was like, who the hell is Madison?
See,
Never
it's with
heard
the
of those
Y, but
names.
not where you think.
And I'm the guy that hasn't seen the episode yet, so I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
It's
Oh,
okay. You're not
I have
missing
Disney
anything.
Plus, and I'm like, what's She-Hulk?
I watched 2 episodes.
It gets a lot better after the first episode, in my opinion.
All
It's
right.
an awesome
and-
show from the start.
Back on topic.
Nah, that's just your Tatiana Maslany glasses,
Yeah.
goggles coming on.
They really are. Yeah, it's really are.
These are the same picture.
What about
Nothing
the rest?
wrong with
What about
those
you,
goggles.
Troy? Do you do anything different?
Yes, I completely got rid of cable, no local channels even. I do not watch anything from 4, 12, 2, 6, 32, whatever all the
That's not
channel numbers are.
completely
Just
true. That's not
gone.
completely true.
I
There's
do not
one
have no.
show
I,
you still fucking watch because I'm required to watch it with you.
I watch the shows, but I don't watch them on local channels. I watch them either on a streaming service or screeners that we would get through, doing this awesome show right here.
That's actually what I have written down as well, Troy.
The
the only
blacklist,
no.
like random.
So the only thing I watch live anymore is sports. Anything I sat and racked my brain. I could not think of a single show or anything that I watch on live television except for sports. Everything is streaming, and I also really just don't use physical media anymore. If I'm buying a movie, I'm buying it on Movies Anywhere or just like looking. What's that app you got me into, Troy? That tells you. I think it's Just Watch.
Just
I use
Grindr.
that. I use that religious grinder. I use that religiously, not Grinder.
oh my god, I just died.
If I feel like I want to watch a movie, I just pop over to Just Watch and see if it's streaming somewhere before I even consider purchasing it. And even then, I'm just going to purchase it digitally. God. Brian's still cracking himself up.
Woo,
I
woo.
got tears.
Brian, should we watch it this week? No, swipe left.
Swipe.
That's not a bad idea. They should make an app like that with how many shows there are out there to watch. Just like go through and swipe which ones you want it to like have an algorithm to
I
determine.
thought you meant they should make a Grinder TV show, and I was like all in. I was all in.
They do. It's called RuPaul.
Wow, shots fired.
Not shots fired. I'm here
Shots
for
welcome.
it. Shots welcome. That's what he said.
Hey.
Whoa.
You'd be happy to know that they actually did make a TV show called The Grinder starring Rob Lowe back in 2015.
Well,
I
if
never
anyone
remember
needs
that.
a star in that, it has to be Rob Lowe.
Yeah, if anybody
Agree.
yeah, feels fitting. Yeah.
Well, even more fitting, it also started Fred Savage.
Oh,
Ooh, too soon.
Savage.
he's falling down, huh?
Yeah.
Also, I do not watch commercials. Like commercials are just not in my wheelhouse at all. Again, the only time is when I'm watching live sports. I feel like if I will pay the extra money for a subscription service and not have commercials because the subscription commercials are even worse because it's the same one over and over again, and it just drives me crazy. I will easily pay the $5 or $10 or whatever to not go through commercials because I just can't stand it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I've been watching
I refuse to watch things with commercials.
Well, yeah, I've been watching Bosch Legacy on Freevee, which is part of Amazon, and
Mhm.
that just is upsetting with how they throw the commercials in there.
It's like at the beginning and the end, or is it just the beginning?
no, it's
or-
throughout.
Yeah, it's
So
like regular linear television. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a testament to how great Bosch Legacy is because I'm sitting through those commercials, but then again, it's like sometimes I'm like, all right, well, I need a phone break now anyway. So
Good show. Very good show.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. It's too bad. I watched the screeners. Didn't have to deal with them.
rub it in.
Humble brag. All right. So, Brian, has your personal taste or tolerance changed?
Yeah,
and-
it's basically echoing Troy and Scott there, where it's basically all streaming at this point. There's not. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing live that I watch except for sports. You know, I'm a big baseball fan, so throughout the summer, I've been watching plenty of baseball. Now we got college football and NFL kicking off, so watch a little bit. But yeah, commercial comes on, and I'm like, now what do I do? What this is, all right. To John's point, grab my phone or whatever. But yeah, it's basically all streaming at this point.
I guess we're all in agreement there. No, but have your taste changed? Has anybody's taste changed? Like the movies you like, you'd like something different now, or you don't like something that you used to like anymore? I find that I'm really, really picky about comedies now. Where I used to laugh at anything stupid, now I'm a lot more finicky, I think.
That's
Bitchy
just
is the
because
word
you're
I
pushing 50. It's got nothing to do with
Could
10
be.
years of podcasting.
Could be. Get off my lawn with these stupid jokes. That hurts, Dick.
I'll say that I didn't used to really actively watch war movies just because I just, that boxing, all of that, it's just hard for me to watch. But as I've gotten older and realized how much history I willingly surpassed learning about, I've gone to movies to learn about history and wars and all of that. And I'll talk a little bit about the one that's taught me the most later on. But those films I was not actively seeking out.
To add on that,
Do you like
just from a learning aspect, I feel like as I get older, and I will admit it straight up that it's because I'm older, not because my tastes change, but I actually enjoy and look forward to documentaries a lot more than I did when I was younger. Before we started doing this. No, I'm not trying to sound cultured. It's just that I'm of the age where I'm
Don't
watching
worry, you don't.
documentaries about things that I was alive for, as opposed to watching documentaries for things that, you know, were before my time. So I have an automatic greater interest in it because you know, not exactly experienced, but I was around. Like the Woodstock one, what Trainwreck. You know, that was
God. Yeah.
I remember watching that on TV, and I never knew it was that bad. So that was a fascinating thing for me. Plus, like, you know, I can always find a documentary on something that I'm interested in general. You know, there's just, I can always find something that I want to learn more about. And when I was a kid, man, just the thought of watching something that didn't have a story was crazy. And now I crave them.
Woodstock kind of partly made me wish I was there because it looked like the party of the century. I mean, Mardi Gras, right, Scott? Like it was a great time, and until it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. Like, like I said, I watched some of the concert during the day, but when you see like the aftermath, that shot where the guy's like, "Are we in effing Somalia?" Like it looked like a war zone. Like it just is nuts to me. But
that one chick talking about how she had trench mouth, I tapped out. I couldn't like any idea of wanting to be there when she's talking about how she had trench mouth. I was like, nope.
Because they were drinking the poo water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right next to the porta potty. I don't know why you need someone to explain that to you. Not safe, not good. Don't drink it.
It's right the 90s, man.
I don't care what decade it was. I mean, I've known since I was a kid you don't drink water next to a poo station. I feel like mom taught me that one pretty early. Hey, when you get thirsty, make sure there's no poo stations nearby.
Right. They're just like filtering it. It's just like constantly recycling.
Right.
It goes in.
And they were like, I can't believe it. I'm like, I can't believe we found poo in the water. I'm like, you can't believe it. The porta potties were right there. That's not mud, Jim.
Yep.
That's not mud, Jim, he says.
Oh. All right, we got to get off that. So we each have like a game or discussion topic, wherever we want. We each get to pick something. So Troy, you get to go first. What do you want to do? What is it?
Well, I was really interested in the whole free choice consolidation because that was always the big battle over the last 10 years since this podcast started. So we originally started with like the big three networks, and then we moved into the cable world, and then the big three basically started buying the cable channels, and then it became like multiple cable companies. Then it was the big three streamers, and now we're streaming with channels back to more streamers. So it's like at the end of the day, it's just this whole flux of like consolidation, expansion. If you could build just the perfect whatever it is, bundle, network, what have you, what would you want to build, and how much would you charge for it? Scott.
I thought really hard about this because the a la carte thing is something that we have always wanted. And when we started doing this podcast, we said, why can't we just go choose what channels we want or choose whatever? And we're kind of there, but it's just not the exact way that we want it because now we have to subscribe to it.
I mean, it's kind of what we wanted. We talked about this years ago.
It kind of is, but you know, there's still like I don't subscribe to cable either, like Troy doesn't, just because I think it's such a waste of money unless you have to watch live sports like I do. That's all I have it for, because you're not paying for you're paying for every channel, even the ones that you're not watching. So I'm like subscribing to things that I just really don't care about supporting.
Sure.
So I want to go to like a true a la carte style where it is all tied to smart TVs or your device that you could cast to a TV. So I'm thinking like buying an Uber smart TV, and then you pay a base price for a streaming service. I'm going to say $50 a month for the streaming service, and then you pay an additional $10 per month for any additional service on top of that, and you get to pick and choose. So I can choose Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, whatever, and I can turn them on and off each month at my leisure. I think that's going to solve a couple problems because everybody complains about one of the services. Everybody complains about, oh, Netflix sucks now, or Hulu's commercials are the worst now. And basically giving the consumer the option to choose those is going to weed out all the ones that people don't want, because people are going to vote with their wallet. And then you do the same thing with the cable channels. If you still want to watch live TV, you pick packages of channels. Like if you want just the locals, that's $10 for these local channels. If you want a sports package, that's probably gonna be more than $10 just because the NFL sucks.
Sports.
Right. Or you have like a package of I don't know, like TNT and ones that are like that. I don't even know. Does TNT even exist anymore?
Not really. But way to date yourself.
I
Proves your point.
remember.
If you don't want it, it's WB. It's HBO Max is really where TNT
Gotcha.
is probably headed.
But then you also offer a shared service where you can share it with up to 3 other family members for maybe like $5 per extra family member.
Sure.
And then like each month you just go in and say, okay, I didn't really watch any Netflix this month. I'm going to turn that one off this month. I'm going to give Hulu a shot and go in and binge whatever show I want.
I
and
like
then
that.
we're basically
like
voting
just
with our
toggle
roles.
it. Like you can say, I want this one on this month, and this one on this month, and this one off this month.
As long as you do it by a certain time frame. If you don't do it by a certain time frame, it auto renews the next month. So you set an alert on your phone that says, hey, go check which TV subscriptions you want, and you just kind of tick them off.
Sure.
It's all in one spot. Everybody's on board. Everybody's going to get a piece of it. They're going to get a piece of your base service price. I'm assuming, but then they're going to get most of the a la carte menu. So
I'll buy this. That's kind of how Troy does it, like on his own. He's like, sign up for this month and I cancel the next month, and then I sign up for the. I get that. If they could have an easy way to do that with like toggles or something where you can easily select
right on your TV. You don't even have to go to an app. You don't have to go anything. It's just there's an app built right into your smart TV. There's apps built into my smart TV right now. Just make that like the one that's always prominent, and you just go in and like manage your subscriptions every month.
And I think
you just gave someone a solid business model to develop and put out there, because people would easily pay to have all of their subscriptions basically filtering through one area and still have access to what they want and not have to remember like, okay, what's my HBO Max password to be able to get in here and turn that subscription off? Or I know for some of them, they make it incredibly difficult for you to cancel your subscription. Like you have to do it on a computer or whatever versus your smartphone. So being able to just the convenience factor of it would push people, I think, to go into something like that.
Honestly, I think I probably would pay even a little more than the 50 plus 10 per subscription, because as much as I watch, for the sheer convenience. And I think that
it does kind of sound like cable, though. I'm just letting you know, like the model's kind of cable-esque.
But you can't do that with cable.
TNT, TBS, Sci-Fi, whatever. Now you're just getting Netflix, Hulu, Disney, HBO. So it's the same basic kind of concept. But I think Amazon and Apple are the closest ones that are going to do this right now. Like I went into Amazon because I wanted to watch a show on Epix, and I was able to just go on Amazon and say, buy Epix, 7-day free trial, and then canceled Epix immediately. That way I could watch what I wanted to watch for that 7 days.
This guy knows how to save $5. I'm telling you what. He's like,
Epix isn't worth the $5.
I'm going to sign up for the trial. Bam, knocked it out in 7 days.
He lives in Chicago. What do you expect? He's got to pinch his pennies where he can.
That's right.
I get it.
And I take advantage of those free trials. If ever a free month comes up, there was they had a deal at Best Buy where you got 3 months of Apple TV.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to rewatch Ted Lasso and Severance, so I just got that and haven't watched anything since. But I got a little thing on my phone that reminds me to cancel that subscription on this date. So I play the game like Troy does.
Gotta play the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid plan.
Is having that one central service though, so that you could just subscribe through the one portal
Right.
versus having to go to the individuals. And Netflix and Hulu will never do it, but it'd be really nice if they would.
Especially because it's easy for you to unsubscribe, like
Yeah.
Amanda said. It's very
Like-
consumer friendly. It's not, service ownership friendly.
You know what the trick is though, is that I try to do what you guys do, where you cancel and but I end up having like multiple people on my login. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I have multiple people on my login, and
They're texting you.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I feel bad if I like Disney Plus. I don't use freaking Disney Plus for hardly ever, but there's like 4 people on there that use it, so I don't want to cancel it. I feel bad. I mean, I feel like I'd just be leaving them hanging.
Yeah, but are they reciprocating? Are they scratching your back
yeah,
too?
Yep.
Okay, well then, I would feel
Yeah, I'm
guilty
not
about canceling
stupid,
it.
Scott. I'm not stupid. Yeah. That's a good idea. I like that business model.
Like I said, I think we do, but they won't. Yeah, it's too easy to subscribe, and the voting with your wallet thing would really make the lower quality services shine. As like, oh man, especially if we could see the numbers, so we could see like what percentage of everybody is doing stuff. Oh, everybody's got
Oh, it's
Netflix,
it's like fantasy football where you say like percent of this player's percent rostered. You could have the list of the services, and then you can say what percent of the thing is rostered to
Oh man,
subscribers
I love
of that
stats.
service.
There you go.
That'd be great.
There you go. There
It's
you
a good
go.
idea.
I like it.
I know it's absolutely impossible for this to happen, but just like hypothetically think in your brain with me and imagine a world
Ooh.
where particularly television shows, all the properties are owned by the same company. So you can integrate different characters with each other if you want to. You only have one company that you're going to like get that content from. Like, I'm sure Disney's going to own all of them anyway at some point. But like if you had a Netflix branch of Disney and you had a Hulu branch of Disney, but not Disney, I'm just using this as an example, but they all were with the same organization in the end. And so you could have one of the issues we had with Netflix when the Marvel shows were canceled from Netflix, we had to wait for them to get to Disney for the rights to get over there. So we had to wait for that content to come back. It would have been so much better if we could have just said, okay, well, that's just going to be at a different arm of this organization, but we don't lose out or have to wait on ownership rights to get moved around for somebody to buy the rights to this property, etc. Like that's ultimately what I would like. And I would pay a lot of money for that just because I feel like it would benefit the consumers. It obviously is not an economically balanced business model. Like the business would not probably do super great and it would just be a monopoly. But at least for us, we would not have to worry about losing stuff. Like they could just move it over somewhere else and just say, nah, this branch isn't going to handle it anymore. But you as a consumer don't lose out on that property.
It's a fun idea in theory, but I think the problem you're going to have there is that you're going to see the quality of the content go down, because if there's not the competition between these different service providers, then they don't have to really work on making quality content as much as just put stuff out there because the person's going to pay for it anyway. You know what I mean?
Like I said, in a perfect world, like this would be ideal for me, which is ultimately what we're doing here is hypothesizing. But
well, I'm drinking.
I know that it's not an option. I know for a fact that like, this would never work, but I would love it if somehow it managed to.
And my favorite is when people complain about the fact that they lose stuff. There's 600 scripted shows. If something is going away for a little bit, it's like, are you really going back to Punisher when you got 30 things you want to watch?
I would 100%.
But you could
if
wait.
If the Punisher came on tomorrow, I would drop as much as I could to be able to access that and watch it. I think the problem is with movies and television shows, this art form, this entertainment section, they want us to create an attachment to these characters, to buy into this world. That's the beauty of cinema, is that we're living in it, we're breathing it, we're experiencing it with these characters. Woo, spirit fingers. But at the same time, when we lose that, it's like, I gave you my heart and soul into this piece, you know, like it resonated with me, it connected with me. I was really looking forward to it. So it's natural for us to feel like we've lost something when the shows and movies are literally written to get us to connect in a way that others don't. And each one is going to connect with people for a different reason or on a different level, or maybe not at all. But it's hard to appease everybody. So,
John, I felt like I cut you off a second ago. I apologize. Did you have something to add?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't apologize for that.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
All right, never mind.
Me either. But my glass is refilled, so life is good.
Yeah, I mean, all these ideas are fantastic and fun. I just want to see a net IMBO Max. Like, so you take my Netflix, my Prime, and my HBO Max, and you turn it into one thing. Charge me $25 a month. Call it a day.
Used to be called HBO.
Yeah,
Did
it's gonna be called HBO again.
It's going to be called Discover HBO.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, movie innuendo. This is where each host picks one. This is one of our favorite games here at the Ho. Each host picks one famous movie line that is completely innocent, or at least non-sexual in nature, and delivers it as sexual innuendo. The idea, without changing the words, only the tone of the delivery. The idea is to take something that you think is innocent or non-sexual and make it dirty, because we're pathetic. All right, so John, you get to go first. Make sure you tell us what movie it's from and then deliver your line.
All right, so from Jerry Maguire.
Oh,
You had me at hello.
is
Did
that what
someone
you
just-
sound like when you owe? Oh.
Did someone corn cob you halfway through that saying? Or
Oh,
Whatever you want to believe.
you got the weirdest vinegar strokes, man.
oh my God!
I have no idea
was-
what that means.
You should watch The League. Yeah.
Ah,
Scott, you're up.
Do I really have to say the movie first, or it's
Yep.
gonna be
Yeah. No, you got to absolutely tell us what the movie is, so we know what's
all
going
right? I mean, there's only one quotable line from this movie, and that's it. But the movie Babe,
Ooh.
that'll do, pig. That'll do.
What's funny is that was on my short list as well.
Is it really?
That'll do, pig. That'll
Oh
do.
my God.
That'll do.
There you go. That got like more sexual too.
All right. I think, is it me? No. Yeah, it's
is
me.
you-
So mine is from one of my favorite movie quotes. In fact, if you're watching the video, there's actually a poster of this quote on my wall. From let's see. It's from Reservoir Dogs.
You did this one, man.
I don't care. I'm doing it again. It's my
Okay.
favorite. I love it.
I also like that he has a poster of it on his wall and he can't remember what the.
And he
I know,
said
it was
it's taking
I
you
was
5
thinking the
minutes to get
same
to
thing.
it.
It took him a hot minute
It's a
to
movie.
remember.
It's something like let me.
I'm
Google
like
it.
2 drinks in. Shut up.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Lightweight.
It's not lightweight, Amanda. You should see how I make my drinks. Brian knows. He understands. He's just been a week with me. Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite?
Do you want her biting you?
Yes, maybe.
There?
Don't judge me. Why are you so judgmental? I thought you were the progressive one. Jesus
I
Christ.
am. I just like my head. I don't even want to get into this.
Hey, look, there's nothing
Biting in
wrong with a
certain
little,
places
with
is
a little
okay.
biting.
Little nibble.
Nothing wrong with
Little
a little
nibble here and
biting.
there. It's never
In the
been,
right
as long as you
places.
don't have a ring anywhere, I think it's fine.
It's got weird.
All right, Troy, you're up.
Dad-
Please let it be from a
daddy-daughter
Pixar movie.
talks. All righty.
This one is from Poltergeist, the original, not the remake.
Ooh.
Oh, this house is clear.
There, here,
Oh wow. It took me a
That's
second.
it? That's all you gave us?
No,
Is there
well,
a pineapple? Is there a pineapple there?
You talking about crabs?
there's pineapple, but
picture of somebody
Is he talking
pointing.
about crabs?
There, here, there, here.
What just happened? Oh my God. Amanda.
Boy, how do I follow that one?
I don't
I don't know what movie that's from.
Ashley. asshole. Mine is from The Godfather. I'm gonna make him an offer that he can't refuse.
Oh, we can refuse it.
No?
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey,
It works.
that works. That's good. Brian, what do you got?
All right. This is from the classic movie Psycho.
Mm.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ.
Brian, what are you trying to tell
my
us?
short list, Brian. That was on my short list.
I give
For those
All
that
right.
are only listening, I really wish you could have seen Brian's reaction at laughing at his own joke. It was fantastic.
Oh, you should see. Yeah, you should watch the cringe level of the other five.
Yeah.
people.
Mm,
Totally
that's
worth
some
it.
Game of Thrones shit right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go around. We're gonna go in the boxes here. So Troy, who's your pick for winner of that? You can choose yourself if you so feel inclined.
I'm thinking I like Scott's.
Okay, Scott, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Brian's.
All right, I'm gonna go with Scott's. Actually, I think Scott's got the winner there. Amanda,
I'm going with Scott also.
well,
Good
Brian,
delivery. Good delivery.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Scott.
All
What
right,
movie
John?
is that from?
The one you guys made
Scotty
last
does-
weekend.
That's the
Scotty
movie that's
doesn't
about to be filmed.
I'm giving it to Scotty.
Okay, everybody's giving it to Scotty. Everybody,
Yeah.
giving it to
Everybody's
Scott.
giving it.
Otherwise called Saturday Night.
Oh my god, that's great. Even though yours is really insulting in a lot of ways, but I still like yours best.
That'll do.
That's funny. All right, what's the now? Oh, Scott, hey, that's a nice
Yeah.
segue. You're up. Your whole game or discussion, you choose whatever it is.
What I wanted to know is I wanted to know something about life that you learned from watching a movie or television show. You know, something that you know people do that phrase where they say I was today years old when I learned this. I want to know
Oh,
one of
okay.
those moments from a movie or film. And as an example, I'll start with mine. One of my favorite movies of all time is Fight Club. I learned in that movie that when you watch a movie where they had the old projectors and those little, like, they call them cigarette burns or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I did not know that those were the cues for the projector to flip over the reel or whatever. I had no idea. I just thought that was like crappy, grainy film or something like that. It actually had a purpose, and that kind of blew my mind in 1998. So I want to know what you guys have that is something that you never that you never knew, that you were like, wow, I never knew that. And I'm going to start with John.
Oh, goody. I'm gonna have to say that the thing that surprised me that I did not know was when Watchmen the series came out, the Tulsa Race Massacre was something that was never on my radar. Not ever, ever, ever. I thought somebody would have told me that happened. I would have been like, yeah, that's not in this country. No, in this country it did happen. So that's what I'm gonna go with, is the Tulsa Race Massacre.
All right. Aaron, how about you?
I'll be perfectly honest. I would say The Breakfast Club taught me to listen to people of all different cultures, or to listen to see where people are coming from, because everybody comes from a different walk of
Perspective.
life. Yeah, perspective. Thank you. Everybody, the alcohol is getting to me. And it gave me the perspective to be willing to look at people like that I had kind of looked down on, I think, at that point, and learn to just, you know what, breathe, listen. And everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a tale. Everybody's got something in their past. And I think that movie really, really resonated with me, especially growing up, because I had specific parameters for where I thought people were in life based on very similar ideals that are in the Breakfast Club. I mean, there's a reason why that resonates with so many people, is because it's true. You know, you got the jock, you got the nerd, you got the prom queen, you've got, you know, all the rebel and all that stuff. And I was very much the rebel. So I didn't look at the other people like good people. They were all dicks to me, but they probably all looked at me like I was a dick. And it kind of just gave me a perspective that I think I needed. So it's an invaluable tool to be very understanding. Or it was one of the things that I think really informed me to be understanding.
All right, cool.
I love that one because I actually almost selected that too, because for a similar reason but different, it also teaches you to love and accept yourself
Mm.
in spite of everyone else's perspective and the way that they judge you or think about you. Hell yeah.
And also raise a fist. Yeah, everybody raise your fist in honor of Judd Nelson, who's a very underappreciated actor.
Moving on, Troy, what do you got?
Mine was more of like I see something in the movie and then it leads me down the rabbit hole. And so we recently saw Nope, and the talk about the first motion picture of a horse being ridden by a black jockey. So as I started to spiral to see if that was actually a true thing or not, that led me back into the late 1800s and found out that in order for blacks to be equivalent to whites, there was pretty much two professions that they had. One of them was being horse jockeys. And actually in 1875, the inaugural year of the Kentucky Derby, 13 of the 15 jockeys who competed in that inaugural event were actually black. And 15 of the first 28 derbies were actually won by black jockeys.
That's awesome. I didn't know that either.
I did not.
Interesting.
So I was like, little history for you.
Very cool. Brian, do you have one?
Yeah, y'all are way deeper than I am. So yeah, being a selfish dickhole can basically kill half of the universe, as proven by Star-Lord in Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, so basically, they had Thanos beat, and because he was all me, he kind of ruined it literally for half of the known universe. So don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Give a little bit. Give a little bit.
All right. And to round it all out, Amanda.
So this is what I was referencing earlier when I was talking about war movies. Aaron is dancing right now. So excited he has alcohol in his blood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Imagine when it comes down. Boy, I'm going to hit hard. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night.
It's going to be like Brian all over again.
Brian, as someone who just spent 7 days with Brian, no one can keep up with Brian. I'm just letting you know, Brian can drink. He knows how to moderate and take control of the reins. So I am not Brian.
Let's just say I got my money's worth. As a matter of fact, I got both of our money's worth out of the drink package.
Nice.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah. All right, man.
So mine is Taxi Driver. And again, just to give you some context, I'm a very smart person, but history has never been something that I've been interested in or intrigued in until I got older. And so when I was in college and in film school, one of the things that they were teaching us about is the Vietnam era and showing us that through film. And there are some really great examples, but one of the things that I guess I didn't fully understand is the impact of the way that Vietnam veterans were treated, the way that they were perceived by Americans when they came home and while they were away at war. And so part of it came from seeing the PTSD effects that happen on the soldier, and part of it also came from the conversation around that era and diving into learning about what those men experienced. And it was really heartbreaking to learn about it because as someone who is an early 90s baby, I've seen soldiers treated with the utmost respect, right? I've seen them as like, you're a hero, you're, the epitome of being an American. And to learn that these soldiers, when they returned from war, were treated with less than the respect of like a raccoon, it's like, wow, I had no idea that it was so bad. I don't know why I went with the raccoon. Leave me alone. I'm sober. Leave me alone. But like, I don't know. It's something that perspective, if you weren't alive for it, you have to be taught about it to understand. And movies are a great way to teach us about history and about different things that we never experienced.
Coons.
Good
we get coons under my porch, Mama, just moving with the broom.
I don't know why you said raccoons. I just feel like nobody likes them.
Oh, everybody loves a good trash panda. Come on.
I might have went to Forrest Gump right away when you said that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh,
Living
it's
bears are
funny.
great.
Is anybody left? Or is that
I think that's it.
It's everybody. Yep, that's it.
Hey man, that's your game time. Yours is wild.
Yeah, I was trying to do something fun. I actually created this specifically for Scott because he's such a
Great.
music fiend,
Wow.
and he's also always been the
wow.
poet for the Hollywood Outsider. So
And he didn't know it. Huh?
And he didn't
No.
know it.
Oh,
boy.
wow. Those drinks are kicking in, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Back to water. Back to water. Red Solo cup. Here I come.
So my first, or what the game is essentially you're going to take
Mm.
any popular movie or TV show theme song and rewrite the lyrics for the Hollywood Outsider. Not the whole song, please, just like a chorus or a verse or something. And hopefully it's kind of fun for everybody. And you're all drunk, so it works. But I'm going to start with Scott
I'm not
and
drunk,
put him
I'm
on
just
the
angry.
spot.
Why are you angry, John?
I'm just angry.
Of course, you're gonna
That's
make
my-
me go first. This is
That's
This
my
is-
secret, Scott.
is it? You're
All
always
right,
angry.
Bruce.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to say what it is from, or do you just want me to like break into the song here? It's a little
We should
weird.
be able to
Break in a
identify it.
song and then tell us the movie.
Yeah,
I
let's see if
mean,
we can guess it.
it's-
Or TV show. TV show.
There's no way you're not gonna guess it, but all right.
Okay. Or TV show.
Oh boy, I actually practiced this, so I'm a little nervous.
You're a musician. Why are you nervous?
I'm not a musician. I just dabbled.
Let's go
All right.
easy on the giving him the labels there.
Yeah.
He was in a band. He sang.
We're a lot of people. Let's go easy.
So is Brett Michaels. Have you heard him lately?
Are you saying that your life has been as bad as Brett Michaels?
Have you seen
No.
Leo
That- that-
Neil, by the way, where he's like they actually subtitle where he's singing this like,
103. it's freaking hilarious.
amazing.
At one point,
Oh
it just
my
says
God, it's
birth
amazing.
noises in the bottom of the screen. It's really good.
But no,
All right,
Scott
here
is a
we
good
go.
singer. So go ahead.
No,
pressure.
I'm not.
I'm drinking.
Our whole podcast feed was in a hot, dense state. Then 130 months ago, the hoe was born. Wait. The feed began to rule because Aaron's hosts were really cool. The guy in charge developed rules. He made us cringe. Don't you be late again. Drama, horror, comedy. Are we insane? Yeah, probably. It all started with a cheap website. Ho!
Ah, that was
Well
good.
done. Well done.
That was really good.
That was a lot more work than I put into it.
I was gonna say, upon reflection, maybe I should have put Scott at the end so we end, so that way we
Right.
Yeah,
stop
so
it
we
on
end
a
on
high note.
quality. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Scott, and that was
Aaron,
from?
you're drunk.
That was from
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Big Bang Theory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just making sure people knew. Man,
So, Amanda,
it's your thing. Lead.
Aaron, you're drunk.
Oh.
Let's go with you.
Fuck. I don't wanna. All right. TV don't play in the theater. Movies don't play by the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn behind the mic. As long as we live, it's you and me, babies. And there ain't nothing wrong with Mike and Ike's. Well, we're moving on up to the Spotify, to a deluxe podcast in the sky. Moving on up to the Spotify. We finally got a piece of the pie.
A for Aaron.
Bravo.
I
Bravo.
loved the enthusiasm.
yeah, dude, that was good. I wanted to see you do that sober.
Very well
I
done.
don't even want to listen to that on replay. I don't want to know what it is. Because thankfully,
John,
I'm-
angry man.
All right, here we go. You take TV, you take some movies, you take them both, and there you have the Hollywood Outsider, the Hollywood Outsider. You take Aaron, you take some clowns, and then you take them both, and you have the Hollywood Outsider, the Hollywood Outsider.
keep going. Is that it?
That's it. That's all I did.
I
This
like
is
it.
a man who hasn't prepared.
I prepared. That's the facts
Hey,
of
he's right.
life. That
Just
was
the
the
facts.
chorus and the facts
Just
of
the
life.
I got-
We literally lost Aaron.
You either made you either
Bitch.
made
He
him
just
pee
pulled a
himself
Brian.
or vomit. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one.
For those that aren't watching the video, we literally just lost Aaron. He is off camera. We don't know where he went.
He's probably blowing his nose. He like blew some
Probably
alcohol
blowing
out his
chunks
nose.
at this point.
Oh
Uh,
man, that's funny.
Moving to tears.
So are we gonna
Okay.
wait for him? Or are we just gonna go? To the
No,
next
let's just keep going. We don't need him.
Let's
Fuck it.
go. Troy.
Oh, I thought Brian was going to go next. All right.
No, go Troy.
Look at what's happened to us. We can't believe it ourselves. Sometimes we research and sometimes do not. But would you listen to anyone else? We're 500 in and going nowhere. Entertainment is what we bleed. Topics galore or games till we're bored. Reviews from these hoes that aim to please. Dun 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 dun.
I'm gonna have that song in my head
Well
all
done.
night now.
Is that Greatest American Hero?
Yeah, it's greatest
Greatest American
Hero.
Hero. You got it.
Well done.
Aaron's back.
Well done. Sorry,
Are you okay, man? We didn't know what happened.
I died.
Yeah, you kind of shot out of there like the Flash, man. It was like,
Sorry about that.
All right, Brian.
well, we've heard a version of this already. Unfortunately,
Ooh.
nobody collaborated, so we got a little double take. Hopefully, this one's a little bit better.
Mm.
You take the good, you take the bad. You better be quiet or Aaron's mad. 500 life, 500 life. It's been 10 years and maybe more. What else are you wanting more? 500 life, 500 life. Once or twice a year, I show up on here drunk on beer. All right, so I'm back. So-
All right, maybe I didn't prepare enough. Maybe I didn't. Just thinking. I don't know
That's really
why,
funny.
but I got a feeling that I didn't prepare enough.
No,
500
you did
life.
fine. Amanda, do you have one?
Yeah, I do. I was just trying to be courteous and let everybody go. But now I don't like that I'm at the end, so I should have switched this up. Okay, so mine is if there's something cool in your movie theater, who you gonna tell? The Hollywood Outsider. If there's something bad and you wanna warn us, who you gonna call? The Hollywood Outsider. That's it.
Nice.
She's like, that's it. That's all I got.
A for Amanda.
Like if you could, there was practically a curtsy that she just did.
She's like, thank you.
So now we go around. Same thing. Troy, who's your winner? Who's had the best one?
That's tough because I liked Scott being able to actually do the speed on the song. Brian's was actually original.
Fuck
go
everybody
with-
else,
I'm
apparently.
gonna go with John.
You're gonna go.
You're gonna go with John? You
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's the pity vote.
When you can't pick from all the good ones, you just pick
Yeah.
the guy who's the underdog. So
Right.
John wins.
Right.
what the fuck?
Take it.
Yeah, you take it, all right. You take
yeah.
I and Chewy have nothing in common.
it. All right, Scott. And as far as the boxes are concerned, you're next.
I'm gonna go with Aaron just because he was so delighted with himself with what he did. It was kind of fun to watch.
I'm going with Scott. I like. Or actually, no. No offense, Scott. I'm going to change it to Brian. I like Brian was actually pretty thought out. That was pretty good. And plus, you won the last one, bitch. So you know, by a landslide, it wasn't even close. Everybody else just like a pittance, like we didn't even try. Amanda,
Yeah, mine was also tied between Scott and Brian, but I'm actually going to give it to Brian just because I thought 500 Life was really catchy.
it was very catchy.
You got to stay in that, rhythm stuff. You got to match the rhythm
That
of the
rhythm
song.
stuff. That
It's
rhythm,
Rhythm
stuff.
stuff. It's
Technical
musical, like technical stuff. I don't want to bore you with it.
Yeah,
The
Thank God.
rhythm's gonna get
they
you.
had over to Boris with the words.
The words.
All right, Brian, who's your pick? You can pick yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with me.
He's so proud and confident. There was no hesitation, no thought. He's just like, hell yeah, I won this.
Oh, yeah.
I nailed it. When I nail it, I nail it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. You know.
John.
I'm gonna go with Amanda for the curtsy.
Thank you.
Wow.
I respect the pity vote.
It's the last time I throw a vote your way, jackass.
What? What are you talking about?
Screw you.
Yours was great, man. I just like, I don't know.
Yeah, we
I'm
know.
out of here.
We know.
All right. So since we've been doing this podcast, here are the top 7 films of the domestic box office. Boy, I'm really trying to keep. I feel like Brian right now.
Why did you
Here
go
are the-
7? Like, why just an odd number of top 7
Because
films?
there
in
were
the
7
Hey.
hosts. There were 7 hosts. Of the
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Scott,
Okay.
Huh?
Don't trip him up right now. He's got to get through this sentence, and he's
It's
not doing
very
it very
hard
well.
to read when you can't see the words, Scott.
It's hard to see when your lips don't move so well.
Yep.
Do you understand the words that are on your computer screen?
All right. So here are the top 7 films of the domestic box office. In the time we've been doing the podcast. Ready?
Mhm.
Give me a second. Okay. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Get the fuck up. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Avengers.
So we got a bag of
Endgame.
chips right now. That's what we need.
I need carbs. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Black Panther. Avengers: Infinity War. So Infinity War and Endgame are both here. Top Gun: Maverick and Jurassic World. Those are the top 7 domestic box office hits. What is the best movie of this and why, Brian?
Oh, for me, this is a no-brainer. Avengers Endgame, just mainly because it was the culmination of 10 years worth of Marvel movies being built up. You also had the emotional battle at the end of it with Thanos and all of his minions. You had, and when that you hear that on your left, and all of a sudden you get those chill bumps. And you see the Doctor Strange sparkly portal stuff start opening up, and everybody starts coming out, and then you
Those
got
fire
all the
holes.
those fire, and you've got like all the women heroes standing together fighting with each other. It's just I'm literally getting chill bumps talking about it right now. It is
Plus
such
the
an
return of
emotional
Cap
thing.
earlier in the movie too was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's so much of that stuff that's been building up for a decade, and to tie it off and to end it so well is just magic, movie magic. So
Can I go next just because I want to kind of ping pong off of him?
Absolutely not. Fuck you. You're going last.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm doing it anyway.
Look at Scott. He's being he's like, I'm standing up for
that's
myself.
what I'm talking about. Things do change after 10 years.
Personal
Look at that. He
growth.
leads his own podcast for a few years, and suddenly his balls drop.
So I was actually torn between Endgame and an Infinity War, and I agree with you that Endgame is very strong. But I'm gonna say I actually went with Infinity War
Ooh.
just because for the sheer fact that a
Ooh.
movie that grossed that much money ended on such a down note. Like, when's the last time
Yes.
a movie that popular ended
On a bummer, right?
not a happy note? I mean, it was even worse than Empire, really, if you think about it, because Empire at least had some hope going for it. There was no hope; it was just credits. And the fact that that movie still did that well, to me, just makes it such a bigger mark, because obviously, Endgame is going to be epic, and it was epic. And I'll agree with
Sure.
you that the ending of Endgame was way more epic. But the fact that I walked out of that theater just feeling depressed, and I went back for more, and so did everybody else to go to the theater.
Oh.
So that's why.
That's just my point.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah. Have you seen people doing that Halloween decoration, by the way?
That's amazing.
Where they have they
amazing.
have Spider-Man, just the top half, and the rest of it is leaves.
Leaves. That's
So good.
amazing.
That is brilliant. That made me want to decorate for Halloween.
Who wants to go next? I'm gonna second Endgame, because although I love Scott's Infinity War explanation, I think that really holds water. And I can make a real argument for Top Gun Maverick. Surprisingly, that movie is just fantastic. But Endgame, I have watched the audience reactions probably 100 times, and
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home comes really close, but that's only the back half of the movie. Like, the first half, I think, is just okay. It's the second half that's awesome. Endgame, I think, is a great movie, but once you get Captain America just done, just ready to, you think he should quit, but he ain't gonna do it. And then he gets a Cap on your left or whatever. Oh my God. I'm getting emotions right now just thinking about it. But
Yep.
I've watched those reaction videos over and over and over again, and I have yet to feel anything less than amazing when it happens. It's one of the best feelings I've ever had in a movie in my entire life. And I think Marvel is kind of like that's all they keep doing now is just trying to recapture that Endgame magic.
Right.
But my God, I've never felt that good in a movie in my life. I don't think. I honestly don't think so.
Especially because that line wasn't even a callback from an Avengers movie. It was from a Captain America movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that just it was brilliant and it worked so well. Yeah.
And it's, I mean, there's so much in that last hour really where you have,
Right.
I mean, Avengers Assemble and you have the hammer moment and you're like, I knew it. And everything about that entire it's like 10 years. It's like our podcast. It's like all of that has come to this. And this is what we got. And we were rewarded for actually being part of it. I actually feel like Marvel's never going to come close to topping that. I just really feel strongly that they're not going to. But at least at this point, obviously, I'm also drunk, so I'm really just getting emotional right now. But that moment,
Oh,
that entire movie, like the last hour, seriously, from that moment where the portals start opening, it's just something that breaks my heart every time I see it in a great way, in a fantastic way. And I love that the women heroes get their moment as well. Everybody gets their moment in that finale. It's just like, yeah, we are all in this together. All of your passions for the last 10 years are being rewarded. As a fan, you are fucking loved by Marvel. And
with Black Panther leading all of his Wakandans there, and everybody's chanting that Ibombe. It's like,
yes, it's hard not to. And I love watching the audience reaction videos. I'd rather watch that than the actual movie on TV.
I know, same here. Because everybody is cheering, and you feel like you're right there in there with them, and it's so amazing, so amazing.
And Spider-Man: No Way Home came really, really close to recapturing that same feeling. And I mean, there were a lot of moments in that movie where I felt the same way. But unfortunately, I don't think the first half really earned as much as Endgame did.
Oh yeah,
Endgame I feel like earned it more than No Way Home did.
I would concur. I mean, you guys have said quite a bit about it, but for me specifically, going back to the point where
we knew you weren't going to pick Top Gun. We took a vote.
I actually really liked it.
We agreed that you would go for it, though.
Are you a drunk one?
No, I'm completely sober, but I really did like it. Like I'm looking forward to watching it again. But I went with Endgame because it's so hard to spend that much time, different directors, different creative minds in general, and different casting that's fluctuated throughout that time period, and still have it wrap up where literally everyone is satisfied. It's one of the very few films that I can remember of the last probably 20 years where it was one of the most highly anticipated and also lived up to the expectations of those people. Like anything with Star Wars, even if you talk about Force Awakens, it was so controversial of whether it was good or not. And with Endgame, everybody was there. They were like, we're waiting for this. And this lived up to our hopes and dreams of the past decade.
100%.
And that's a huge feat. And so that's why it's my choice.
Good call. Good call. Mostly because you agreed.
Right.
Not a good woman if I don't agree with men.
That's exactly right.
I literally. Oh, wow.
I don't think
Brian, you're lucky I love you.
That, but you.
I love you too. I'll do
John,
my
go
laundry.
ahead.
I don't even remember who's gone yet at this point.
What?
Who's gone?
John goes
in.
John
goes,
Gray.
and I'll take last.
Okay.
John goes with what?
What's your
Answer
pick?
the question.
What's your pick?
Oh, my movie? I
That's
can't
your
even talk
cue,
about
John. The
You
people,
guys-
everybody going, John, go next. That's your cue.
Right. I don't even have any words left to say. Like I want to agree with everyone about Endgame. It's a great movie. I love it. I think it's of this list probably my favorite. Top Gun Maverick, pretty close. The rest of them I can take. Like that's all I can say about it. That hasn't already been said already. Thanks, guys.
Good job.
Troy.
All right, buckle up.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll talk to you
Oh
guys.
Boy,
yeah.
This big salmon swimming upstream right
I
now.
hope Jurassic World. I hope he's just gonna be like, fuck all of you. Let's get real.
Dinosaurs rule. My name is T-Rex. No.
All right. Troy Rex.
Actually, the way I looked at this was that it said the question was, what is the best movie of this?
Yeah.
And when I
that's what it
looked
said.
at this, I said, okay, so if we look at it as a movie, soup to nuts, start to finish, like what movies are not using a gimmick or retelling a familiar story? I'm looking at Force Awakens and Maverick, really just updated versions of New Hope. So it's not really a new thing to look at. So where it's an enjoyable movie, it's not a great movie because they're just retelling a story. Same with Jurassic World, just kind of updating what we've already seen before. So
Okay.
that leaves us pretty much with Spider-Man, Avengers, and Black Panther in the Marvel Universe. Now,
Mhm.
Spider-Man gets disqualified because if they don't have the 3 Spidey gimmick, it's really not a great movie. It's the 3 Spidey gimmick that really makes it what it
I agree
is.
with you. I love that movie, but I agree with you.
Yep.
So
Same.
now we're left with Avengers, and Black Panther.
Mhm.
Avengers Endgame, yeah, everything you guys are saying about it, it's a fantastic audience experience. It's super, super awesome. The first 40 minutes of that movie is the most drug out bunch of bullshit. Just get to the damn action already. I had to go to the bathroom twice in that opening sequence while I was waiting for, everybody to just like mope around and like cry in their soup and whatever. It's like, get to the freaking time travel stuff already. So Endgame got knocked out. That left me with Infinity War and Black Panther. Now, this was hard because I really, really, really think I agree with Scott in a lot of ways that with Infinity War ending on that downer note just really makes it just a button on the top. But really, Infinity War is a culmination of a bunch of other things that have happened. So really, it doesn't work without all the other movies. So that leaves Black Panther, which is singularly in itself, by itself, one of the best movies that we've seen in this decade. Because when you think about it, just the heart of that story, Chikala's dealing with the family, dealing with the loss of a parent, being a role model for his sister. The costumes are outstanding. The chanting is outstanding. The battles are outstanding. Everything about that movie just hits on every single cylinder. So as a movie, Black Panther is number 1.
So you're a big Lion King fan?
I like Lion King
So it wins because you got a weak
because I also
bladder.
like Hamlet.
That's what you're saying.
How many syllables are in Lion King, Aaron?
Oh no.
It's
I
a
don't
long I and a long O.
No, I can actually understand that. I think Killmonger is probably one of the best Marvel villains that doesn't get the appreciation he deserves too. I think
For
For
sure.
sure.
I don't even love Michael B. Jordan. I feel like he's overrated in a lot of things that he's done, but he is fantastic as Killmonger. I really believe that.
And to your point, Troy, this is the only movie on the entire list that isn't a sequel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you could maybe say that hey, it's a Marvel property. You know, you're going to see some characters from there, but everything else is, building off of the story of the others. Whereas Black Panther is its own story. So it's, for an original movie to do that well in the box office, it should be, it should be commended.
It should be. I mean, to be fair, Endgame really is capitalizing on 10 years of movies where Black Panther kind of has to live on its own.
Right.
So-
The thing that I loved about Black Panther was more. This is one of those movies that really hit me as far as crowd reactions were concerned, because when I went to go see it, there were so many people there of color enjoying the movie, and I heard so many different times where, like, on my way out, people saying, okay, well, now I get why people love comic book movies so much more. Like that really connected with them, and it really resonated with them in a way that watching Superman or watching Spider-Man didn't connect with them. So I that's one of the things that I really loved about Black Panther, was how it opened up a whole new world to people who didn't understand, because they weren't given the opportunity.
I think that's an important aspect of evaluating movies when we've been bombarded with like the best special effects and writing and all of that from the MCU, is to consider the impact and I think to some extent we've talked about that with Endgame, and now we've talked about it with Black Panther, but movies are supposed to have an impact on us personally, and then to see the impact on an entire society, on the entire planet being impacted by that and getting a new experience that they hadn't had before, like that's a huge undertaking to be able to create that for people. And so even if it's not the selection, for me personally or for Aaron or whatever, I think it was my second because of that same reason. So really good choice, Troy.
Like, single me out. I don't want to be part of your fucking discussion.
You're easy
Plus,
to pick on. You're drunk.
Wakanda is just freaking cool.
It's
Can we just say that
cool.
too?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like,
Vibranium all day.
it's just, and the music in that movie, everything just it feels so original, and I just absolutely love that movie. It's one of the most rewatchable Marvel movies for me.
Well, it's original to us. We're the whitest of white. I mean, so
Aaron really has had some drinks.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's true.
Your teeth are really slowing you down right now. You should Grandpa, you should take those dentures out.
Your teeth are slowing you down. That's like John's got some good one-liners today.
Oh, speaking of John, it's your turn. What's up?
All right, so I have a question. My question is for you guys.
You better hurry up because my drunk is going strong.
Your drunk is going strong. This is going to be a great one for you, my Irish little friend.
Boy.
Or you German? Who gives a
Swedish.
shit? Anyhow,
I am German,
Sort of.
Native
All of the
American,
above.
Irish, Swedish. I've got a lot of stuff in me.
that's a lot of
Yeah,
weight.
you do.
Anyhow, okay.
He's had a lot of
we
stuff in
learn?
him.
And also
Ah!
a lot of hey. Don't-
It took him 5
That was a
seconds
good
to get that joke.
It's like a junk grenade.
Yeah. Can we learn about culture from movies and television, and like culture that other cultures produce? So, what have you learned from like foreign films that you never considered before? Let's start with you, Aaron.
Why would you do that to me?
This deep conversation probably should have been at the beginning.
Right.
Just
really
because
should have.
Aaron can barely say his own name right
All right,
now.
here we go. Okay.
Andy
so
hates movies with subtitles.
I do hate movies with subtitles. I really do. Although The Handmaiden, fantastic film.
Yes.
Okay, so Parasite. I learned from Parasite that as somebody who grew up extremely poor, wishing I could be wealthy, that is a universal theme. That is not just beholden to my stature in life, my culture, my honkiness. It is actually something that is universal. And it really, because I totally would have done the same thing those sons of bitches did. And Parasite, I totally respected that cultures across the world suffer from poverty issues. And it's something that really doesn't get addressed very often. And it was nice to see that represented in other cultures. So I didn't feel like it was just, okay, it's just something about, my culture. No, that's all over the world. There are poor people that are treated like shit while rich people just enjoy the sanctities of life while we are struggling to just make it through. I mean, does it make sense? I mean, I'm hoping it does because I'm really not very sober at this point. And I'm gonna turn over.
Obvious.
Hopefully, somebody made sense of whatever I just said.
No, it's gonna be great. Someone's gonna snip that all together and make one cohesive sentence. It's like listening to me stutter.
Thank you. Thank you. You have no idea how much I edit your fucking stutter. So
I have every idea how much you edit my stutter.
I do understand.
Troy, how about you?
All right.
I
I'm
had
actually going
myself
to say
muted,
the
my
answer
bad.
is yes. You can learn a lot of stuff, especially foreign languages.
Mhm.
So there was actually a study done that people actually can learn foreign languages easier by watching film or television in that foreign language situation. So they watch it like first with the English subtitles, except for Aaron, and then they would watch
That's what I
it.
learned off Rocky.
And then they watch it with the foreign language.
That's how I
subtitles.
learned Dothraki.
Dothraki. Hey, Adrian.
Oh, shit.
That's Dothraki.
And then the second time you watch it with the foreign language subtitles, and then you watch it a third time without any subtitles at all. And you can
Then you
actually,
have-
because the visual medium actually helps you understand the words easier because you're actually experiencing what
You
they're
have
doing.
context.
You can pick up the words in the context a lot quicker than trying to learn it the traditional way.
I actually had
All right,
that written
Scotty.
down as well, and I had a second one just in case because I kind of figured somebody was going to say that. So I'm going to go a little bit more broad with my answer because I had a very different sheltered experience growing up. You guys have heard me talk about that on the show. And as a kid, my only real experience with anything in other countries was movies that I watched. And I feel like the way that other countries were portrayed in films in the 80s and 90s were that like everywhere but America is a third world country. So when I got older and started watching, quality foreign films and realizing that that people are in other countries are a lot more like me than I realized. And I'm completely owning my ignorance, with my upbringing and everything like that. When I watch foreign films now and I just see people that they live in the same kind of houses. They don't live in huts. They've got skyscrapers in these towns, and you know what I mean? That was an eye-opening thing for me. And I think that is one reason why I gravitate towards foreign films a lot more than I did when I was younger. Because number one, I don't hate subtitles like Aaron does, but I also like seeing just what it's like to be on the other side of the planet and learning about just, minor culture things. I mean, I've learned things like, like we have hand gestures here in America that you wouldn't think would be offensive in other places, but they are. Like you
Aaron's
can't
flipping us off.
in Asian cultures, you can't point with one finger at somebody. It's considered rude. Or maybe it's not Asia, but in certain cultures, that's why at Disneyland they point with two fingers whenever they point at something, because that is a universally non-threatening or non-offensive hand signal.
Or handshakes even.
Yeah, handshakes, they shake their own hands and bow. Or they've got, like, if you hand somebody money, like in certain cultures, if you just hand somebody money with one hand, that's rude. You have to hand it with two hands. And these are things that I've learned from watching some foreign films, and I just love learning about the world that way.
That's really cool.
And
Brian?
Aaron is making all kinds of obscene hand gestures that I'm not referring to.
Oh, yeah. I personally like foreign films. It's kind of sort of to Scott's point. We have a lot of the same issues, and you see there's a lot of great European cinema, Indian movies, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. There's all kinds of Scandinavian. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff if you're willing to turn on subtitles. And just to limit ourselves to American, typical Hollywood cinema is kind of just kind of putting on some blinders, because you're missing a lot out there. And yeah, I enjoy it. So
have you seen what is that freaking movie? RRR?
RRR. Yeah, I watched it.
God, that's batshit crazy.
It is. It is. It is. And you learn a bit of the colonialism issues that went on in India and stuff.
Sure,
There's some
sure.
historical, so it's based on historical facts. But
Oh yeah, that's definitely
I'm telling you,
historical.
if anybody does running better than Tom Cruise, it's the Indians. I'm telling you.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
so good. But yeah, there's some crazy action, and even the Russian movies have some amazing action and special
Oh, yeah.
effects. And you
Timur,
are
I
real,
think of.
yeah, exactly. Timur, that batshit crazy The Guardians, which is like you got some guy that turns into a big bear. It's freaking
Night Watch and Day Watch.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some good stuff out there. Definitely, give it a shot. Broaden your horizons a little bit.
Amanda, did you go?
One of the things, no, I haven't. I was just about to. So one of the things that
Stop yelling
Brian,
at
you
me.
kind of
Jesus.
touched on. I'm sorry, am I being so loud? Is not only
can I
can
just
you
point out
learn,
she's got Cary Grant behind her? Is that like Cary Grant behind you on your
I've
video?
got
Yeah,
here.
looks
That's
like it.
Cary Grant.
It's not her
And-
Can you
video.
guess
That's
all
her
of 'em?
actual room that she's in.
That's
Yeah, this is the
awesome.
movie room. I'm in a movie room.
That's sexy.
Whose
I
whose
don't know
movie
where you're
room
at.
are you in?
This is where I live.
Wow.
What?
This
That's
is where I watch
sexy.
my movies now.
That's hot. That's
See
hot.
those
I'm
the movie lights over here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, it's an audio podcast, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But yeah, that's cool. I love it. I love it.
I'm sorry. Can we talk about the fact that we always pick on me for mentioning the peasant theater, non-peasant theater, and this person's actually watching movies in a home theater that looks like a home theater?
It looks like
It
a real
literally,
kid.
yeah. And the sound system is out of this
Why do I
world.
feel so Poe? I don't like
We
it.
also talk about how Aaron complained that she's talking about the visualness of her room space when Aaron was the one that brought up the question of why is Cary Grant in the background.
Yeah, you're right.
Just saying.
Look, don't judge a guy who's drank more than you than at least
Oh, we
one bottle. At least one. bottle.
Oh, we're judging.
Yeah.
You
This episode's going to be called
Scott Clark,
episode
not judging me.
500.
Of all the-
Aaron
Aaron learned how to
derails
drink
us.
by watching foreign films.
Hashtag drunk Aaron.
It's a
Episode
German movie.
500.
They drink a lot in
Oh
this
my
German
God.
movie.
Sorry,
Right,
man. Back to you.
Episode
I just wanted to say
500.
y'all cut me off a lot.
Intervention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amanda,
The
this is
hypocrisy
what it's like
edition.
to hang out with you.
I love you too, Johnny.
He's got a
Okay, so
point.
back to my thought
He's got
before
a
I
point.
forget it, y'all. I don't have a good memory. So
No, it's fine.
not only can films teach us and TV shows teach us about the cultures themselves, like the one that came to mind immediately is Coco. I think for a lot of people
Oh,
in America, they see death as this horrible, sad, just very daunting experience. Whereas in
well, it
Mexican
sucks if
culture,
it's you.
yeah, but in Mexican culture, you're celebrating the life. You're not
True.
doing all of the, I don't know, I'm not going to get into the religious aspect of it, but there's an appreciation for it and a different view of how life evolves that a lot of Americans, Western civilization in general, just doesn't understand north of Mexico. And so the other thing that I think about too with foreign films is not only can you learn about cultures because they're representing culture in the film, but you can also learn about the cultures by the creators. For example, Japanese horror films are completely different than Western horror films. And they take a more psychological look at how they're going to present their horror. And that's why they're scarier, because they want to put forward to you what scares them more so. Like Americans, I feel like we're scared of everything. We want the jump scares and things like that. Maybe not us in particular, but you can see the way a culture or a group of individuals, a demographic, sees things, their perspective based on that filmmaker putting it into play in their movie or TV show. And so I can really appreciate the different perspectives better when I have it coming from a filmmaker who's in that background, or the way they see things versus the way I see things.
It's really great. No, when I was growing up and living in Panama, everything was a foreign film to me in one way, shape, form, or another. And the thing that I always noticed was just how universal themes are when you're watching so many different things from so many different countries. It was great for me because it was all in Spanish, anyways. Because that's some of the best dubbing you're gonna ever get. But
Waterco.
Don't you get me going.
I couldn't help
Okay,
it.
look, he's in the goddamn movie and he's supposed to be living in goddamn Cuba, and why is it the only word that he can say is like point at the freaking motor in the goddamn car and be like barco, as if it means anything, because he's a freaking chimp who can't do more than just that. Okay,
Did you say he's a chimp?
I did.
Ben Chimpsel.
Vin Chimsel, all right. Anyhow,
My nose keeps running. It's really
Jim
annoying.
Diesel.
all right.
Vin
Anyhow,
Diesel.
Brian, I think you're up for the next game. What do you think?
Um,
Well, what about Scott?
Yeah,
I
fuck
answered.
Scott.
I
You
answered.
did.
Scott's already like we've been on this for so long.
Oh no,
it's time to
no,
move
no.
on.
There's a discussion. There's a discussion that we're supposed to
Yes.
have.
There is.
Yes,
That's
there
what
is
I
a
meant.
discussion. Yes.
Aaron, you're supposed to lead it.
Right.
I am.
All right. Each
About-
person is going to pick their favorite TV show or movie in the last 11
Oh.
years.
And movie.
Hey,
and
hey,
movie.
I got this, you son of a bitch. I got it.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you
I got
clear-
this, son of a
you-
bitch.
You
Jesus.
clear- you
This is what
clearly
Brian
got
feels like
this.
90% of the time.
Don't
Jesus
you
Christ.
talk over me because I can do it, okay?
All right, so each person pick
That's pretty accurate.
pick your favorite TV
Look,
show.
you son of a
and-
bitch. I'm talking over here,
Shut
okay?
the fuck up. All right, pick your favorite TV show and movie of the past 11 years. Only one of each, please. And any ties will be deleted from the podcast. I'm not convinced of that because I'm pretty drunk and want to edit this and it's gonna be shit. So pick one. Favorite movie, favorite TV show of the past 11 years. Scott, you start.
I had to double check because I have a movie, but I'm worried that it's over 11 years now.
Just
It's like
Well,
right on the
Nobody's
fringe.
paying attention anyways.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
nobody's- unless you get it wrong, then we're gonna land.
I mean,
I'm
you're
not
not going to
gonna
be
rock.
surprised by my answer, Aaron, because you used to make fun of me for my absolute adoration for this movie. No, Inception. I know that was
That's
in the
a
last
good one.
11 years.
It was
Yeah.
12. It was like right at 20.
It might be 12, but it I feel like it counts.
Yeah, it's
ish.
close enough. It's
Yeah,
You know
it's
what?
good.
I'm drunk enough that I'm gonna let it go.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
All right, so
So-
Inception.
Yeah, I just easily rewatchable. Made me think. I love movies that you walk out of the theater and you're talking to your buddy that you just saw it with and about your theories and what did this mean. And I love thinking movies that also have action. Like on paper, that movie shouldn't work, and it 110% did for me. Am I going to my TV show as well, or are we going?
Yeah,
all
no.
movies?
No, do
Okay.
it.
Both
Go.
at the same time.
Go.
Go.
So there should be also no surprise, and I got to give
It's
a
like 15
props
years
to-
ago. Is this 20 years ago? Where's this the TV show at?
No, I'm giving props to Brian because he's the one that introduced me to Game of Thrones. The show I've rewatched more than any other show in entirety. I've now read 3 of the books. I'm
Oh,
so
wow.
into Game of Thrones, so I listened to
hang
3 of the
on.
books. Listen
Hang
to 3 of the books.
Thank you. You correct yourself. All
Yeah.
right. My
He's
wife
drunk, but
corrected
he's not too drunk to correct you. That
I-
it's not
I
it's
know the
not
difference.
reading, it's listening.
me. That is a big difference. My wife has read those books. They are hard books to read. I tried to read one and I'm like, fuck this. So, I'm glad you love it. And Brian did sell us. He sold us all on it. Honestly, he
Mhm.
was like, you'd think he was George R. R. Martin's fucking personal whore. But
Who's
If he was,
Jar
could you
Jar
tell him to
Martins?
finish his
Jar
book?
Jar Jar Martin.
Martin,
Misa
Sidebar.
like a dragons?
he's a like a dragon.
Sidebar: How good is House of Dragons?
Oh, it's good.
Ooh, it's
It's
pretty
good.
good. It's pretty damn good.
Man,
It's good.
Not as good as Ring
Good.
of Power, but it's pretty good.
I would flip that, but all right. You do you.
You
You do.
would you much of anything?
Yeah. No, what? I couldn't
Huh?
hear you. Broke up. You broke up over your nonsense.
Would
All right, who's
flip
next?
much- My nonsense.
Who's next? John, you go. You're talking randomly.
All right. So I mean, I really hate questions like this because it's always like, what is your favorite show? And it's a Sophie's choice kind of. But
It's really not, but okay.
yeah, I mean, because I can always find an excuse to make something my favorite show, depending on whatever it is. But Stranger Things was something that I was shouting for the rooftops for when I saw the very first trailer for it. I knew something in me told me that Stranger Things was going to be great, and I have never been disappointed by that show. And then as far as movies are concerned, I'm going to go with Man of Steel because there's just something
Wow.
about that one that I love so much. I can rewatch it. I just enjoy Henry Cavill as Superman, and I hope that we can get more of that.
I will just to connect this to our podcast.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
It's really not. Justin Cumber wrote a great article on the defense of a dark Superman. If I remember it, that's the title of the article. And I think he wrote it for Geek League of America. It was a really great dissection of why it's important to have a Superman that's fallible. And it's a great piece that he actually wrote. And as a former host, I think it's important to notate that. So I'm throwing it out there while I'm thinking about it, while I'm conscious enough to remember that.
Right on.
He was a great writer. If you never listened to Justin McCumber on the podcast, like if you're somebody that came up in the last few years, Justin and I never really agreed on much, but I would definitely say he was a very good writer, and you should definitely find his books. Stillwater I think is a great book, and he also wrote a lot of articles and great reviews. So he's somebody who, what I will say is, while we might not have agreed on a lot of things, his passion for things that spoke to geek culture is unmatched. So there you
And
go.
just to
Here.
confirm, it is Geek League of America. It was called In Defense of a Dark Superman, and
Hey.
it was in 2013.
I remember that.
There's a link at the Hollywood Outsider website. You can search for it. And
Yeah, go to
there
our
should be a
website. Fuck their website. Go to ours.
post.
Yeah.
Well, it takes you to their website, but still.
But it's a good piece. I mean, it's a really good piece. And-
Start in our house, then make it to their house.
exactly. Exactly. Sorry, John, I wasn't trying to hijack, but it was a good connection piece.
It's always the guy that drinks the most sister and starts going, shh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Give me a second. Hold up.
Hang on. Let me do mine because I really have to take a bathroom break. So I'm going to do that while you guys are talking. So my TV show, is Game of Thrones. I want to thank Brian Williams personally for that, because and he's you can't see the video, but he's shameful that I'm acknowledging him, but it's true. Same thing Scott said. Great.
It's not
One
why
of
I'm
the
shameful.
One of
Oh,
the
can I
best
guess your
TV shows.
movie? Can I guess your movie?
You can guess. Sure.
It's going to be one of two, but I'm going to say Knives Out.
My
No.
guess is The Hateful Eight.
Amanda gets it.
Oh,
Hell
wow.
yeah!
Hateful Eight is my favorite movie of the last 11 years because I watched it every Christmas. I went to see it with my family in the Quentin Tarantino roadshow format that he had rolling out. It's one of my personal favorite memories of film in the last decade. I saw it with my entire family, and I've watched it every Christmas since. I absolutely love that movie. I think I like it more every time I watch it. It's everything I love. It's Agatha Christie. It's Western. It's just beautifully shot. The composition is beautiful. The storytelling is wonderful. Samuel Jackson is fantastic, and it's got Kurt fucking Russell. I don't know how you get better than this movie. It's fantastic. It's my favorite movie of the last decade by far.
Nice.
By far.
Would you say it's in like your top 5 of all time?
I wouldn't go that far,
At
but
this
it's definitely my top 5. It's definitely my top movie of the last decade, but not my. I don't know. It'd be in my top 10. It'd be my top 10 because it has so many memories for me. And going to see it with my entire family, with my brother, my mother, my father, my kids, myself, my wife. Everybody went to that movie together. And it was just something. Brian, don't fucking laugh at me. God damn it. I'm trying to
It's so sweet, but you're slurring. It's so sweet, but you're
I'm
slurring.
trying-
But he had to
At least he
listen. I
remembered
went to
that
see
he
it with
went.
myself.
Exactly. That's what I was like.
My
Were you
my
there? Are
brother,
you
and
sure
my
you were
cousin,
there? Are you
my whole
positive you were
family
there?
tree went.
I was there.
This must be how Brian felt on every episode we've done before.
You mentioned that 12 times. Good job.
Yeah. God damn it.
Hey,
That's
Daryl
all I
was
got.
there. My other brother Daryl was there.
You haven't passed out yet, so you're a leg up on
haven't.
Brian.
All right.
All right.
It's my bathroom break, and it's your time, John.
Go. Oh shit! Now that he's gone, can we get the show going? Come on. All right. You know what? Who hasn't gone yet?
Troy, go ahead. John,
Sounds
because
good.
you went. So Troy,
Um,
go for it.
I was like bouncing all over the place because I had like, Orphan Black was really good, and I just saw Coda recently, which was really good. But when it came down to it, I was like, Cobra Kai for a show that was supposed to be on a YouTube streaming thing that was never gonna make sense. The fact that first season just works so freaking well, and that they've done 5 total now. It is the only show that I've actually sat down and binged watched the entire thing in like one sitting every single season. So I'd have to say Cobra Kai for the TV show, and then A Quiet Place, 1 and 2, because when you combine both of those movies, it's the length of an actual movie that comes out today. because they understood the concept of how to make a 90-minute movie really good and cut the fat both times. But I think A Quiet Place was just a really interesting way to do film, to have that quiet experience the entire time, and like nobody would say anything in the theater. It's like it was a quintessential theater experience, and I got to see the first one with Aaron actually, so it was really good time.
Nice.
A Quiet Place was an interesting pick of yours because I think, first of all, I don't think any of us expected that to be your choice. But you mentioned how the entire theater was silent. I vividly remember watching it, the first one, and having it like nobody was even eating popcorn.
Right.
It was like you couldn't even move in your seat in case it made a little creak or something. Everyone was just completely still and quiet, waiting to see what would happen. And that's huge for kind of creating a new area of horror films. But Cobra Kai,
it's kind of sad that we have to make a movie like that in order for people to shut the hell up in the theater. But
I didn't see a single phone. And
That's
even
cool,
though
though.
Aaron's not here, he would probably bump in and promote himself that he did the panel for Cobra Kai and had a good time and met Ralph and Billy Zabka.
It's just
Oh,
it's really good. Like for them to
poet Williams
to pull the characters that they've pulled from the movies and continuously do that every season, and it's not like a shameless plug or a throw-in. It actually fits the story at the time it hits. It's just so well done that even this 5th season I just finished, obviously on Friday, and it was really good.
How
gonna
much
be
longer
6?
do you think it's going to last?
Yeah.
'Cause
I think one
there's
more.
Not many more people they can pull from the
No,
movies anymore.
I think when you see season 5 and understand what they were trying to accomplish and get to, this is the pinnacle. Like
It's all fun and games
season
until
6
Hillary
has got to
Swank
be it.
shows up.
Real quick, yeah, mine's Game of Thrones as well. Echoing everything everybody else has said. Just every single scene, whether you realize it or not when you're originally watching each episode, every single scene is important. Every single piece of dialogue is important. And you may not see that importance for 2 or 3 seasons later, but everything is tied together and done in such a masterfully way. And after a rewatch, the last 2 seasons that everybody complains about, they fucking work. Get over your fucking self. They work, and they work well. So as far as the movie goes, honestly, I had to go with a movie I've probably rewatched maybe 10 times, a dozen times, and that's 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi.
That's a great one.
Wow.
Yeah, you got John Krasinski, you've got guys that you've seen, like James Badgedale, Max Martini, Pablo Schreiber. Of course, it's directed by my man Michael Bay. I love some explosions.
My man.
But it's such a,
My man.
kind of back to the rewatchability stuff. It's there's so much action, there's so much quick dialogue and everything going on so fast that you miss stuff. And then so you rewatch it again, you pick up on little bits that you missed the first maybe a couple of times around. So and I also love a good story. I love the few against the many. You give me any kind of story like that, the 300 type stuff, you got a handful of people against an unsurmountable odds. I just love those kinds of stories. So 13 Hours.
Those are good picks.
Thank you.
I would add for mine, my favorite TV show of the past 11 years is Schitt's Creek. It is one that I literally cannot. Ew, David. I cannot stop watching it. It's perfect to like engage with and watch the story, but it's also perfect to just have as like background noise, and it doesn't get old to me. I always laugh every time a joke comes on, even though I've seen it 14 times. I know it's a little bit more recent, but it did have significant number of seasons, and I just really appreciated that characters that I would normally hate and despise and like maybe even kind of look down on. Like, you're going to be sad about losing your precious mansion, but learning to appreciate people for who they are and watching them grow. And I also just really liked that there was insight and an appreciation for not having to have it all. You know, as you get towards the end of the show, David makes a significant choice to either go back to the life he had or keep the life he has now. And I think in a lot of ways, we all think that money and wealth is going to bring us happiness. And it takes a lot of changes for you to realize that it does help. But it's not the end all be all. There's other things that can make you happy. So I just really love that show. And the movie that I chose is one that impacted me just because of the way that it was presented, but also because prior to the last, I don't know, maybe 6 years, I didn't understand the significance of it. And that's Coda. But after having a mom who, yeah. And after having my mom who is now, she's not deaf, but she has significant hearing loss. Like, if she doesn't have her hearing aids in, I can't talk to her at all. She won't be able to hear me. And just putting myself in that position of a child who grew up from the beginning with parents who couldn't hear you, and being able to having to navigate their business for them while also trying to aspire for your own individuality and your goals and dreams. You know, that's something that a lot of people don't have to take on, but there are people who do. And I think it was really important to see that story and also get the representation of people whose first language isn't English in America. They go through that similar battle where their children are having to translate and be there to assist in so many ways, because unfortunately, America, unlike most of the other developed countries, doesn't put an emphasis on learning other languages, including sign language. And so I really just appreciated the hell out of that movie. And if you haven't watched it, please go watch it on Apple TV Plus. I think it's still on there. So it was a wonderful movie.
Fantastic movie.
Great movie. Although you're going to be sad now, though, because Netflix got rid of Schitt's Creek, so you can't watch it.
I know, man. Fuck
So
Netflix.
So sad. On Hulu, though. You're going to watch it on Hulu.
It's literally going to go from Netflix to Hulu like the same day. I mean,
I
this is what I'm talking
know.
about.
Such a
It's
good
never
show.
really
I've
gone.
watched it like 4 times now. It's so sad. So sad. Is that everybody? I was gone for a little bit.
I think so.
Yep.
Yep, that's everybody.
God, Brian, is this what you feel like on a regular basis when you do this? What?
All right. So
we're not at the 2-hour mark yet. So
Brian,
we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
all right. So next up it's my turn in the barrel here. So we've got Brian's movie multiverse. So what I want you to do is reimagine a popular or famous movie as a completely different genre. Then give just a very short synopsis or description about it. For instance, John Wick as a rom-com, or Top Gun as a horror movie, or Notting Hill as an action flick.
Toy Story as a porn.
Whatever floats your boat.
his name's Woody.
Troy, why don't you lead us off this?
All right. I said, let's make City Slickers a horror movie.
Ooh,
3 friends escape to the West to get away
Okay.
from the scariest things in their lives, their significant others. Little did they know that the man they hired for a traditional cattle drive was not really the man to lead this quest. Each of the friends is picked off one by one, and it's only after our protagonist swims across the river, drowning a helpless calf in the process, that he
Jesus.
escapes this
Okay.
Western-sized nightmare.
all right. That's a full-on synopsis. All right. Good job.
Fucking evil. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Drowning a calf on the way. Jesus.
Scott, what you
Norman.
got?
Fuck you.
Well,
That's
this
pretty
one's a callback for you, Brian. Imagine if the movie Melancholia
Ooh.
had a decent script.
Wow.
No, I actually do have a real answer, but I had to throw that one in there because that movie, I just love the whole concept.
I just-
and the
I
movie
just-
was horrible.
flipping through HBO the other day, I saw they just added it on HBO Max, and when I saw it, I immediately started chuckling for that reason.
No, my actual answer is I want Titanic to be remade as a zombie movie instead of a love story.
Oh,
So
Ooh.
imagine, everyone's on a cruise. The captain of the ship is the first one to get the first one that is infected with this virus. He doesn't know he's
All right.
infected when he gets on, and slowly the crew starts to become infected. So now the passengers are stuck on a cruise liner.
You sold me, but that's it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm giving the green light.
Yeah, don't even need to hear the rest of it. Huh?
I am the captain now.
I just like the concept of there's a horrifying possibility that we're going to crash this thing, which obviously would happen because it's the Titanic. But now not only are we running for our lives, but we're trapped on this ship full of zombies as well.
Yeah, you're trying to run through the passageways, trying to get out, and all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 zombies there waiting
Will
on
the
you.
zombies share the fucking door? That's what I want to know. Would the zombies share the fucking door? Damn it.
Amanda, what you got?
So my choice is to turn Bridesmaids into a horror movie.
Jesus,
Um,
it is.
Yeah. Well, so there's going to be
Depending on who you are, yeah.
there's going to be someone who is starting to kill off the significant others of the bridesmaids.
Oh.
And so they kind of feel like there's a target towards them and they're not sure who it is or what's going on.
It's the bride.
And
Whoever catches the bouquet is next.
I want it to be either the bride or one of the bridesmaids, somebody in the group, and it kind of starts to narrow down as they're going through it. But I want to keep a lot of those core moments in there. So when they're in the bathroom shitting all over the place and vomiting, I want that to really happen. But as they're trying to escape someone trying to kill them, they have to battle a choice. You have to make a decision here.
I'm trying to escape. Oh, God.
Do you stop in the bathroom or do you shit yourself as you're running? I feel like that might be entertaining. So
I'm in.
I've always wanted to do that.
It's like the human centipede.
Shit while you're running?
I think that trumps
Yeah.
box of flies. Just bend over and just projectile diarrhea all over the place.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. That was so dark.
Oh my gosh. I went with something pretty simple. I've got the Batman v Superman movie
Mm-hmm.
from a few years back, but we make it, since the V
With a better script.
with a better script, since the V indicates more of a legal action, right?
I know where this is going.
Instead of versus, I make it a legal comedy in the vein of My Cousin Vinny.
I love this.
That's pretty
Totally
great.
infinitely more
Batman
watchable.
sues Superman? That's awesome.
they're arguing back, they're arguing, of course their teams are arguing back and forth. There's really no action in this movie at all. There's no fighting. It's just legal battle. It's a courtroom drama. Exactly. Well, courtroom drama.
Because you destroyed my building. You destroyed my business. Come on, Superman. You owe me.
Right. Exactly.
I would
So,
That's
watch
really
the
funny.
shit out
I
of
like
that.
that.
Yeah, that works.
Great idea.
But did the
Johnny.
tracks match the Batmobile? That's really the
Right, exactly. Does this heat signature match Superman's laser eyes?
It's all Martha's fault.
Johnny, what you got?
It's Martha's
So-
fault. She set one of them up and
Yeah.
trying to
Right.
figure out.
God damn it, Martha.
So
She
Martha's
has to
the
be in
Martha's the
one
lead
side.
witness for
My
both.
biological clock is ticking. Yeah.
No, that could be your you can't
Wow.
handle the truth moment. It's like, why did you say that name?
Right.
Yeah. That's
And then
perfect.
the other Martha walks in. Boom.
I
Yeah.
love it.
All right, so
Oh,
I
no,
want to take
the other Martha from the other movie. Like not even the same actress, like the other actress. That'd be great.
Okay. So I'm gonna take Practical Magic and turn it into a horror flick, but the people who you're rooting
Ooh.
for are the witches and not the people you think that you're rooting for.
I
So
like it.
you got a friendly family of witches, and they had been cursed over the years. They're still technically cursed now, and you've got 3 generations living under the same roof. The two of these witches, and their secret of the fact that they're witches gets out to the rest of the townies that surround this house, and the rest of the town decides, let's reenact Salem. Come on, everybody! It's Salem all over again, and and the whole movie is them trying to defend themselves from a whole horde of people who want to just get them and to burn them at the stake.
I like it.
All right. Aaron, what you got?
Well, I got a movie. That's what I got.
Yeah.
So
boy. Everybody
gonna-
buckle in.
Okay, so I had to Google
Strap
something
in.
real quick. Not to be an
Strap in.
asshole. Hold on.
wait,
Witches
wait.
weren't actually burned at the stake. They were. It's popular belief is that they were, but they were actually hung. They died by hanging.
Well,
shut up.
pirates didn't make people walk the plank either, so shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm trying to bring
Thank you.
facts here.
Nobody
Why
wants
start
you
an
here.
hour and 50
Come on.
minutes into
Yeah.
this podcast with
Nobody
facts?
wants that nonsense.
Look,
Someone's
it's
gonna
an
remake
interesting
Pirates of the
fact I
Caribbean
found out
with
recently.
witches,
Okay.
and they're gonna
Oh
hang
my-
them from the plank.
You found out when you just Googled it because you're like,
No,
fuck
I had
John.
heard it. I
John's
had
got to be
heard-
wrong about something.
No, I heard
Witches
it
are amok,
recently.
amok.
Ooh, that was good. No, I heard about it recently, and I was like, wait a second. I thought someone just corrected me and told me that witches weren't actually burned at the stake, and I was like, what the hell? I've been lied to
Wow.
my whole life.
They were in my house. All right, so Real Genius. That's the movie I want to redo, but not as a comedy. I want it to be like a really dark thriller. Collection of geniuses are being used to create a military weapon without their realization. So once they do, keep in mind I'm trying to read this. I can't read. They hatch a plan to bring down the entire organization behind their manipulation, much more of like a sneakers type vibe. So that's what I want to do. I want to do Real Genius as a really, really, really dark thriller.
Say real genius
deal.
again.
Fuck you. Real Genius. Or I want Clue as a straight up murder mystery. Either way.
Okay. All right.
This is why we're friends, because those are two of my all-time.
Did he
favorite
just do an
movies.
honorable mention?
Yeah,
he
I
did.
did.
He did.
But I barely can speak, so I don't know if it counts. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know.
Honorable mention.
Hey, what has been? Is that it? Is that everybody?
That's it. We can get.
That's it.
Hey.
That's it. That's why I
Yeah.
saved you for last. So you
Hey.
can segue into the
Hey.
next one.
Hey.
What has
Wait.
been your
Okay.
favorite? What has been your favorite movie or TV lines that you've?
Why are
started
you
to use?
whispering?
Shut the fuck up. What is it? What has been your favorite movie or TV lines you've started using in your own vernacular that released during this podcast?
Oh boy.
My number one is ew, David.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was saying ew from like the Jimmy Fallon skit.
Ew.
No, it's when Schitt's Creek does it, it's man, Annie Murphy just knows how
She's
to
like charming.
you, David. Like it's
Yeah.
really it is. It's very charming, but also kind of like you, David.
Also, instead of saying baby, like when I talk about like a friend's baby, I say
Bye-bye.
baby, baby, baby. Fold in the
Oh my
cheese,
God.
David.
Schitt's Creek is amazing. I feel bad for anybody that can't, and I hate to say it because I'm one of those people where I'm like, if it ain't 2 episodes, I ain't watching it. I totally understand where you're coming from, but that is a show where if you get past the first season, it starts becoming fucking magic, absolute magic. And I have not cried in a comedy ever until that show. I mean,
I just
and
want to go on the record. I want to go on the record and say that Aaron has done this to me twice, where he said,
that?
like, if you just get through the first season, every
I
time
don't
I
wanna
say
do
that,
that,
Aaron
though.
says, "Fuck you, Troy." No.
You do that on every show. Every show that you like, you're like,
I say, get through like episode 4 or 5. You're like, get through the whole
No, you're
first
like,
season
get
of
through the
Breaking
whole
Bad, and
season.
Breaking Bad will be great. You like give
It
up on
is
2.
great. It is
It is
great.
great. It
Everybody
was
agrees
great.
it's great. Everybody agrees. Schitt's
I'm
Creek
just
is
telling you,
great.
you're not allowed.
And,
You're not
like,
allowed
once you
to
get
give
like
up in 2 episodes anymore.
you get to season 2, and then you get to the finale, and you're like full on bawling. There's literally emotional, just like a waterfall of emotion throughout the season. Once you get past that, like it's phenomenal.
Hose of
And
emotion.
I hate sitcoms. I fucking hate them, and I love that show. I've rewatched
Babbling
it
brook of
4
emotion.
times.
Well, you know what, Aaron? If you just get to the first season of The Leftovers, I promise you that it will actually be great in
Okay.
season 2,
man.
and you'll be bawling your
Alright,
eyes out
so-
in season 3.
Slow
So
down.
hold on. Let me read you just one moment to convince you. and I just happened to like bring up a random one on Google, but it's funny as shit. The parents are saying, I would never just abandon you two in a motel in the middle of nowhere. And David said, didn't you once take the wrong baby home from preschool? And she said, Alexis looked Chinese as an infant. How many times must I defend myself? Jesus Christ.
But are you using that in your own vernacular? That was the question.
Right.
No, I'm just
It's
bringing it up to
a
convince of the
great
Schitt's Creek.
show. The
It's a great show.
lines that, and it's not even like there. It's hard to describe. It's just it becomes emotional. You become connected to the characters after a while, and you just start believing in them and hoping for the best for them. And then as they find love, and they treat like a relationship. God, this is drunk, so I hope this comes out right. They treat a relationship of the same sex just like every other relationship in the world, which is totally different than every other TV show in the world presents it. So it presents it as normal, and it's like the way that it should always be presented. And that's why it's so freaking beautiful, is because they're not trying to make a statement out of it. They're just saying, this is how normal people feel. And that's why the show is so beautiful. It's because these are fucked up people that have normal relationships. And if you just believe in love and faith, you will get through whatever it is you're going through. And that's why that show is so great, because it's, I don't know if it made any sense, but it made sense to me in my head.
I mean, I'm glad you liked the show, but that was 2 questions ago when you were in the bathroom. So let's get back to the actual question at hand.
Fine. Favorite lines. Go, Troy. Go.
I use Not My Tempo from Whiplash.
Not quite my tempo.
That's good.
I use Look at Me, I'm the Captain Now. That one's pretty obvious.
I use it all the time. Do you use the fingers when you do it?
I do.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I'm the Captain Now. I am Groot. Whenever,
That's good.
randomly. And then I also, whenever I have to try to fix something, I always like, I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
That's good. Scotty, what do you got?
I've just got one from when we started doing this. All my other ones are well before we started doing the podcast. But I don't know if anybody here has watched the show Letterkenny. But
Unfortunately, I have.
I've watched like the first season.
So like anytime anybody says the phrase "to be fair," I can't help it. I just go "to be fair, to be fair, to be fair." I just can't do it.
To be fair,
I love the face
To
that
be
goes with
fair.
it.
you
be
also use a
fair.
lot of the league, and I think that was during our run, right? The league was during our run.
That's true. I use a lot of the league. I forgot
You use a
about
lot of
that.
the league.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
League is so
helmet
good.
to helmet contact. Oh man, that's a show. I wish that dude hadn't jacked that up and made that show go away, because they could still be making that show.
That show
God,
was
made me
good.
laugh so
So
much.
That's
Freaking
so-
Taco. To be fair, I
Uh,
don't even like that show that much, but that whole concept of like whenever someone says to be fair, it's got to sound fancy. I've got one of my students doing it, and I feel really guilty about that.
you should. You should feel like a horrible person.
Like whenever we do anything with, like, we were doing an activity where I had them, I was teaching them how to use text to speech on their computers, where like you can, or the other way around, where they can type and then it would actually read it to them.
Sure.
And you can choose the accent, and one of them is a British accent. And this girl goes in my class, she goes, "It just sounds so fancy." And I was like, I couldn't help it. I went like, "Yeah, to be fair," and now she's doing it, and I feel really bad. I really hope her parents haven't seen that show, and she's going home saying, "Mr. Clark is funny. He said to be fair."
He's referencing Letterkenny. What the
Yeah.
fuck is kind of teacher is this? John, what do you got? What do you use?
You know, I've racked my brain on this one up and down the street to try to figure it out. There's not a lot that I use anymore.
That's too bad.
Huh?
That's too bad. That's too bad.
Like, and you know, the thing is like there's probably a lot that I do use. I just don't realize I'm using it.
I just thought of one, and it's actually thanks to Scott Clark.
Uh-oh.
Is it one that I use or one that you use?
I'm excited. Go ahead.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Oh yeah.
You're tearing me apart.
You're tearing me apart.
Oh, you know,
That is
I
used
do
quite a
have
bit
one.
at this house. That is used
I-
quite a bit.
From the room.
I don't know why anybody hasn't said this one yet, but family.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
hell
on my-
yes!
it's on my fucking list. It's on
it?
my list.
Scott and I
Especially
did
ever
it
since-
shots to the franchise.
Oh yeah, lots of Corona was drank that day.
That's a lot of Corona. Brian, what about you?
I say,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back to
for me,
Lisa.
it's-
I do have a friend named Mark, so I do always say, "Oh, hi, Mark."
Hi, Mark.
I want a friend named Mark too.
Yeah, no, for me, it's the best animated show comedy that's
Archer.
yeah, for the last
Oh.
10 years is Archer.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's
I
how
do
you
use
get
that
ants.
one actually. Yep.
It's phrases like you're not my supervisor.
Yep. All right. Yep. I just remembered a whole bunch that I used from that show.
We play Xbox every fucking Wednesday. And
Phrasing.
Brian
yeah.
or Kabashi on the Xbox
Yep.
always throwing that out there. You're not my supervisor. Like, God.
I love that.
And Danger Zone. So yeah, there's a dozen more, but yeah, it's Archer is one of my biggest quote inspirations here.
I've
Mhm.
never even seen that show, and I still regularly use "You want ants?" That's how you get ants.
Yeah, that's how you get ants. yeah.
You get ants.
Yeah, that's actually from like the first season, like the first few episodes. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's you would love it. You would love
Yeah.
it. I promise you.
I'll add it to
I'm
the
not going to
list.
buy you shit if you don't like it, but I promise you you'll like it.
Pay for a month
Also-
of Netflix.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it falls in the time frame, but you smell like beef and cheese and you sit on a throne of lies.
That does not fall in the timeline, but
Mm,
all right.
no.
well,
does not.
that I started using it.
Okay.
Though.
Okay.
Isn't that what the
Sure.
qualifying
Yeah,
is?
yeah. I gotcha. I got I don't want to survive, but I want to live from 12 Years a Slave. I use that all the time.
How many years was that?
Wow. Jeez.
12 Years
What
a
kind
Slave.
of conversations are you having?
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Good Lord. Captain Depresso? I mean,
Every time he goes backpacking, I don't want to survive. I want to live.
I want to
The only-
live.
The only-
live.
Not only that, but who do you know that's gonna like brag about quoting a line from 12 Years a Slave?
Right. What? Amistad wasn't good enough for you?
Schindler's List wasn't available.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I could do this all day. Check my undercarriage. Those are a couple.
Oh, I
Check my
forgot. That's a good one.
undercarriage.
Feel that steam heat? It's coming from an
Help me, I'm
undercarriage.
full.
Oh, I'm gonna climb that like a tree later. I use that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna climb that like a tree later.
Really.
I broke a lot of shit. Broke a lot of shit. Pinballed my way down between the cruise ships.
Oh, shit. I'm so nervous.